Hey guys, well, welcome to a new video series I'm doing called Joe's Not Worried About It. It's a video series where we turn investment anxiety into long-term opportunities. But if you know me throughout my life, you know that I'm usually not worried about it. And thankfully, we know enough now in the stock market to know that that also can apply to your investing portfolio. So let's get into it. So for those who don't know me, my name is Joe Markman. I am the son of John Markman, who founded Markman Capital a little over 25 years ago. And what we're going to be diving into is why we're not worried about it. And it's a big kind of key cornerstone of our investment philosophy here at Markman Capital. We invest in secular trends. So secular trends are the big overarching macro events or trends that are happening to society. And what we do when you invest in them is you don't really have to worry about the micro influences like presidential elections, market crashes, or any other thing that might temporarily draw down the stock market. Those things we actually hope for and wait for because those are our buying opportunities. So what is a trend? Well, the trend that we focus on is the great digital transformation. Now you might be saying, hey Joe, isn't that like a 20-year-old trend? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. The digitization of the economy has been happening since the early 90s, even with the late 90s stock market bubble. But that trend is still going on. It's just in another form today. And so what we do is we look at the companies that are creating and utilizing the best things in the digital transformation or are creating the digital transformation themselves. And for those who are unfamiliar with the digital transformation, it's the taking of hard goods and services and making digital alternatives or equivalents with them with their products or services. A great example of this is actually Netflix. So Netflix, as we all know, was the blockbuster killer. They're the ones that killed a retail video rental store by allowing you to have a bigger selection and almost just as fast delivery service by mailing DVDs to you. But for those who are our newer subscribers, you might not even know that Netflix mailed DVDs. They literally used to mail physical DVDs. And when they made a big bet on digitizing their entire catalog for instant play online, everyone said they were crazy. Shouldn't do it. Don't invest the money. And they did. So that's why Netflix is one of the most amazing success stories of the digital transformation. That's not all they do though, because they're also a data gathering company. What does Netflix do with the data that they gather? Well, they know who's watching what. They know all the storylines and trends people like. They know the actors people like and the directing styles. So a great example of this, even though this one didn't age very well, shout out Kevin Spacey, is House of Cards. Netflix, from its own data, knew that viewers loved Kevin Spacey when he played dark and complex characters. They also know that they loved the directing style of David Finch. And so when they combined a dark and complex political drama and then the directing style of David Finch, put those together, that's how they created House of Cards. It wasn't a script then got bought by Netflix. It was Netflix using its own data to backwards engineer the right movie or the right TV show with the right characters and the right aesthetics. And that is the the benefits of the digital transformation. Great digital transformation also doesn't just pertain to digital goods or services or graphic computer chips. It also pertains to things that we all know and love, like grills. Check us out. I'm actually able to record this video while smoking a pork shoulder. It's gonna be fantastic. It's just got a lot of lime juice in there, apple cider vinegar, a couple other things on there, maybe a little bit of a coffee rub. Shh, don't tell anyone. But because of the great digital transformation, I can monitor it from my desk and record this video. So it's not just goods and services, it's ever pervasive, even in your backyard. Another good example of the digital transformation gone right is Nvidia. Obviously, it's one of the most valuable companies in the world right now, and it's done great in the AI section of the digital transformation, but Nvidia wasn't always that way. It started off as a gaming processing manufacturing company. It made gaming chips. And now what they did is they actually divested a lot of their profits into what would become the AI chips of today. And at that time as well, people thought they were stupid. They shouldn't do that. They should keep making something that they're good at, which was these graphics cards. But Jensen Huang saw the great arc of the digital transformation and saw that there would be a different kind of computing chip needed to make these AI type calculations. And we'll go into what those are in another video. But he basically saw how the trend was laying out and formulated the company to take advantage of this trend. Companies like Nvidia and Netflix are the ones that are leading the great digital transformation, and the ones that you should be paying attention to. So let's get back to it. So why am I not worried about it then? I'm not worried about issues like inflation, the next presidential election, who's going to get elected. I'm not worried about the next war in the Middle East. I'm not worried about GDP growth. I'm not worried about the yen carry trade. I'm not worried about market crashes, simply because these digital transformation stocks are the ones that are creating the most wealth in the stock market. And these trends are not something that these issues can knock off. Just because inflation is high, doesn't mean people are going to spend less on GPUs. We've seen that with Nvidia firsthand this year. Just because Israel might be entering war with Iran, which seems very likely, it does not mean Netflix is going to skip creating content. All of these things are interim weaknesses to be exploited to buy more of these companies that will continue to win. So while others are panicked about the next election cycle, the next global crisis, or the next monetary policy shift, if you're watching this with me, rest assured that you can stand confident, stand strong to say, you know what, I'm also not worried about it. Well, I want you to stay tuned, because in the next couple episodes, we'll be digging into each issue specifically, and we're breaking down why we're not worried about it. Not just a feeling, but why specifically that it's not going to affect our stock holdings. So remember, the future belongs to those who invest in it today. So please, I want you to join me in investing in that future. Thank you so much again. This is Joe Markman, and I really appreciate you watching.